So today's video is the very long awaited video that a lot of you have been waiting for me to upload. So for those of you who don't know, I will explain what is going on and what brought you here to this video. So 3 weeks ago, I was watching Eleanor Neale, I think is how you say her last name, but she makes solved true crime videos on YouTube. She is super popular and just makes absolutely amazing videos. I will link her channel down below. But 3 weeks ago, I had commented on her video stating that my cousin's uncle is a murderer. And somebody had commented back and said, you should make a video about it. At first, I was like, that'd be kind of pointless because nobody would see it. And then literally within hours, I gained 200 new subscribers and people begging me and asking me to make this video. So I think now in total I've gained a little bit over 300 new subscribers, which thank you guys so much for doing that. I am a criminal justice grad. I got my bachelor's degree from Penn State. I just graduated in August. So I absolutely have a love and passion for true crime and solving cases and just getting the word out there. And I've always wanted to make like a true crime video like this. So if you guys like it, I know that there's a ton of people out there that do true crime videos that have so much better camera and setup and everything. But if you guys would like me to make more videos, just let me know down below. So the title of this video is a little bit clickbait, just because I didn't really know how to word it without it being like too long and complicated of a title. So this person that we are going to be talking about today is not related to me by blood. They are not my uncle. I'm not related to them. So my cousins on my mom's side, that is their uncle from their dad. So that is their dad's brother, which I am related to my cousin's mom. So my mom's sister is my aunt. Their dad I am not related to, is their dad's brother. So their uncle is a convicted murderer who is serving life in prison and is going to get the death sentence in Ohio. So before we get really deep into everything, I do want to put a trigger warning on this video. This video talks about suicidal tendencies, suicidal thoughts, actions. It talks about murder, very gruesome murder in detail. It talks about sexual. I do want to clarify that all of this information is coming from this person themselves. So we are going to be talking about Joel Drain. He was born September 18th, 1981, making him 40 years old at the time of this video. I couldn't find much information about him online or in public records, so I am unsure of where he was born. I'm pretty sure it was in the state of Ohio, and I don't know how many siblings he has other than my cousin's dad. I do know that Joel has lived in Toledo, which is where I live, and when these events took place, he was living in Findlay, Ohio, which is about 45 minutes from me. So a few days ago, I actually wrote a letter to Joel in prison, and today I got the letter from him. So I haven't opened it. I was waiting for this video. I literally am filled with anxiety right now, just looking at this letter. So I'm not going to be talking about his childhood or anything like that. I'm only going to be talking about things that are proven facts that you can find on the internet, just because I want to be as respectful as possible. These are my little cousins. This is their uncle, and I know obviously he murdered somebody, but that is, you know, still their family, and I just want to be as respectful as possible for them. So I don't want to get anything wrong. I don't want to make assumptions. I don't want to put anything out there that is not based on facts. So I'm going to say what happened, and then I'm going to read the letter from Joel. So in April of 2016, there was a 911 placed to the Findlay police. And when they arrived on scene, Edwin Drain, which is Joel and Brandon's father, he was rushed to the hospital with stab wounds to the side and the back of his neck and cuts and scrapes on his face. And from what he told the police, that it was an unprovoked attack by his then 34-year-old son, Joel. Joel was later stopped at a traffic stop by police, where he then was arrested. But there is no more information about that incident. But from what my aunt told me, there was no charges filed and he was released from jail. Sadly, just a few weeks later, on May 14th of 2016, Joel murdered his best friend, Randy Gross, or Gross, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. He was 56 years old and was found dead in his home May 14th. And Joel was later arrested because he stole Randy's car, and they stopped him at a traffic stop and he was arrested. How he killed Randy, you know, it's a lot different when you watch videos like this versus actually sitting here and being like, oh my gosh, like, I know this person, you know, this person is in close proximity to me. So he stabbed Randy multiple times and then strangled him to death. And then he stole Randy's car. And like I said, he was later stopped by police. He was sent to the jail where his attorney requested a psych eval, and Joel actually pled not guilty by reason of insanity. So Joel was actually found contempt to stand trial, and when he did go to trial for this murder of Randy, his friend, he did plead guilty to grand theft auto and murder charges. So in July, he was sentenced to 38 years to life in prison, and he has the possibility of parole after 30 years. So Joel was obviously sent to prison, and he actually was first arrested when he was only 13 years old, and he was in and out of prison for his entire life. So a few weeks before this next incident happened, he was actually transferred to a new prison because he was cutting his wrists. So a few weeks later, in April of 2019, Joel woke up and had the plan to kill someone again. He wanted to kill the child molester that he shared his cell with. So he disassembled a fan and removed the heavy motor from the fan, and he hid it in his hoodie. But instead, their other cellmate, his last name is Richardson, he just so happened to walk into the cell at the time, and Joel said that he was getting antsy and, quote, he'd be an easy kill, talking about Richardson. So this is when the attack started. Joel hit Richardson in the head so many times that the fan motor broke. He also stated to detectives that he lost count of how many times he hit him. He then grabbed a pencil and jammed it into Richardson's eye, and then he took a cable cord and wrapped it around the man's neck. Drain could no longer kill the child molester that he originally planned on, and that infuriated him. So he stomped on Richardson's throat multiple times. And during his interview, he said that he couldn't even remember the guy's name that he had just killed. Joel also said that he didn't have any problems with Richardson, and that Richardson was, quote, weirdly friendly to him. He just said that he'd be an easy kill, and he was actually planning on killing the child molester after he killed Richardson but like I said, he had used all of his weapons. So after this gruesome attack, Joel walked out of his cell and he was completely covered in blood. He said hello to his fellow inmates as he walked past them. He told one of them that he smoked synthetic marijuana and that's why he had this crazed look to him. And an officer actually found a bloody footprint and followed it back to Joel's cell, and that's where he discovered Richardson's body. And the officer said that when they went to handcuff Joel, that he was already on his knees with his hands in the air, just waiting. So the trial was very heavy. I will insert some clips of it. It really gave me chills the first time that I watched it. You can hear Richardson's mom in the background just sobbing and crying, and she actually was escorted out of the courtroom when they showed the bloody disarray of the cell after the attack took place.
Before this panel deliberates my fate. First and foremost, I stand before you today accepting full responsibility, not only for the murder of Christopher Richardson, but for everything I've done in the past or will do in the future, good or bad. I myself am responsible for all of my words, actions, successes, and failures. I blame nothing or no one for who I am and the things that I've done, and I'm equally accountable to myself only.
And throughout this whole trial, Joel asked for the death penalty, and he pleaded no contestant, and he told the judge that his life sentence was handed down to him years ago.
Traumas I went through as a child, so many years after the fact. While I acknowledge we as humans are molded through the different things we go through in life, and our human experiences is what manipulates our perceptions and builds our character, I feel the issues of my adolescence hold very little, if no weight at all, in my present situation. And I feel if there ever was a time those things should have been addressed and investigated or discussed in an open court setting, that time should have been back when I was facing a juvenile judge and living those experiences, not 25 or 30 years later after my second murder conviction. It's no mystery I'm a fucked up person in a lot of ways. I don't deny that. Like I've already stated, I take nothing less than full responsibility for what I've done and who I am today. But if I'm the fire, your system is gasoline. I laugh when I listen to people in the free world talk about how this quarantine order is creating a mental health crisis in America and how stay-at-home orders are provoking depression and suicide concerns. I was sitting in a prison cell locked down by myself 20 hours a day before I made it through middle school. But I was too young back then to have anything close to the capacity to understand what the consequences of solitary confinement at that age could be. But the system had that capacity of understanding, and they were fully aware.
First, the judge did deny Joel the death penalty because he thought that Joel was incompetent. So they did another psych eval on him where he was found competent to stand trial and that he understood his decision by saying he wanted the death penalty.
Now it's up to you to decide if killing someone who kills someone to show that killing someone is wrong makes any more sense than locking up a 13-year-old boy by himself 20 hours a day to figure out if he wants to continue being a victim or become something else. Murder is murder, no matter how pretty you make it or how justifiable you paint the picture for the public. The killer in me is the same one inside of you, and if there's a hell, I'll see you there.
After just 1 hour of deliberating, the jury found Joel guilty and he was sentenced to death. There is no set date as of now of when he will be executed. So I am going to get into the letter that Joel sent me. I will be inserting photos of the letter that I had sent him, so you guys can just pause to read. So he wrote this December 30th of 2021. I am gonna read word for word because like I said, I have not read this myself. So if there's any parts that you want to skip, you can just go ahead and skip them. McAllen, hello, thanks for reaching out. I know your mom from back in the day when she had a place on blank, I'm not gonna say the street name. It's been a minute though, like 2003 or something. That's cool, you're a criminal justice grad. I'm actually beginning some correspondence courses through Blackstone this month to get my civil paralegal certificate. First and foremost, let me start off by saying a lot of things have changed since I was in Toledo around my aunt and my mom. I don't go by Joel anymore. As a matter of fact, my lawyer just filed my legal name change in Mahomie County, and then he listed the case number. But I've actually been going by Victoria, Tori for short. That's why your letter stuck out as soon as it slid in my cell. It's all good though. I know it's how the media and courts have published my name. I am transgender. I've not actually had surgery, but I am on hormone replacement therapy. It would take me a lot to break down all the hows and whys of everything. But moving forward, I can give you a little bit on the time and whatever. Or you can ask me more specific questions. On the strength that you're basically family, I'll do whatever I can to help you do what you do on the legal/criminal justice community stuff. As long as it's for the better men in general and not some weird murder fetish stuff, I'll do what I can, and I mean no disrespect, but you wouldn't believe the weird mail I get from people trying to vibe on some super creepy shit like that. That's just not me. So here, go to this website, read through it, and if after you're done, there's any questions, comments, etc., just shoot back at me and I will reply back. This is the brief my attorneys filed on my behalf for my appeal to the Supreme Court of Ohio. It goes into detail from beginning to present, and it will answer a lot of the basic fill-in-the-blank type questions. So just go to the Supreme Court of Ohio's website, find the online document search icon on case inquiring, type in my case number, a lot of filings will pop up, go to merit brief of defendant from March 8th, 2021, just start on page 1, statement of facts. So check it out, then hit me back if you want. And if you have more specific questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Also, you can always hit me up on JPAS if emails are more convenient. I use the JPay like 3 times a month. I didn't feel as though you were being rude or disrespectful, so no worries there. You're good. And I hope you and your family have a good holiday season. Take care. Hopefully I'll hear from you soon. You can address the envelope like this, as in Victoria. So I don't know why that made me very emotional. I did not know that she was transgender. And now I feel absolutely horrible that I have been referring to her as her dead name and as a he. I don't know why that made me really sad. I am part of the LGBTQ community myself. So I guess that this is gonna be a multiple part series. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to end this video here, and I am going to ask that if any of you have any questions that you would like me to ask. So that is it for part 1 of the case of my uncle is a murderer. Thank you guys so much for watching and all of your support. I hope you don't mind that I'm doing multiple parts. I don't want this video to be like super long, and plus I want to write back to him and ask more questions and to include your guys' questions as well. So thank you guys. Bye.